right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our career night, our virtual career night here via Zoom. My name is Michael Rapaski, and I will be your master of ceremonies this evening as we're going to spend about the next hour together talking about the real estate industry, a career in real estate, and our company, Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan. So those of you who have the means to do it, if you could please turn your cameras on. This is as interactive a session as anybody on here wants it to be. I just introduced myself again, Michael Rapaski. I'm the CEO and operating principal for Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan. Our office, you'll hear a lot more about in just a few minutes, but we have about 400 agents in our two locations, Lakewood. We just moved from Rocky River to Lakewood, Lakewood and Pepper Pike. We are the most profitable Keller Williams office in the United States, and there are about 850 of those. And Keller Williams is the largest real estate company in the world, so we are in good company here in this office. So for those of you who have the means to, again, please turn on your cameras. If you can't, go ahead and drop in the chat, just so I know who's here. If you're not in a place to unmute, your name, where you're at in the process, and what's one thing you want to learn tonight. And then I see Jill and Chris both have their cameras on, so I'll ask them to just unmute and share so I can make sure I cover everything that everyone wants in our time together. So Jill, we'll start with you since I already know Chris.
Hi, nice to meet you.
You as well.
I am a mergers and acquisitions intermediary, and each time I help a company buy another company, there's a building involved. I have all the classes under my belt. I just have to wait for the state to give me the go ahead to take the test. I got fingerprinted today. And so I guess I'm interested in the commercial side of things.
Yeah.
However, every time I help a business owner sell their business, there's a potential for a residential real estate transaction. So commercial and industrial are of interest to me, but there's also a desire to utilize my vast network around Cleveland and Ohio for residential. And I'm looking forward to meeting you later this week.
Yeah, we're scheduled to do a call Wednesday afternoon. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right, terrific. Excellent. Well, we'll touch a little bit about commercial. That's actually my background in real estate. And so we'll see what the rest of the group wants, and we can not bore them with the tenant improvement clauses that we need to review. But Margaret or Brianna, if either of you are able to drop into the chat or just unmute and tell us who you are, where you're at in the process, and what you want to get out of this evening.
So I am Brianna. I apologize in advance if you guys hear my puppy dog barking in the background. He's a little bit rowdy today. But I just finished all of my classes. So now I am just studying to sit for my exam. Super excited. I'm going to start out. The goal is to start out with residential, but there's an interest in commercial down the line.
Excellent. And what part of town are you in?
I live in Elyria, but I'm actually going to be hopping on with the social team in Beechwood.
Oh, excellent. And then for what's one thing you want to get out of this evening?
I want to just, I guess, learn anything that I may not know. I'm really here to learn.
Cool. We love that. Well, thanks for being here. And Margaret, if you are in a position to unmute.
Hi, yeah, I am. I'm also trying to figure out my camera. Sorry, I live in a pretty busy household. My roommates just got home, so they're kind of loud. So I apologize. Actually, I think I can just turn this on, but it's kind of dark in here. No. Oh, sorry. Okay. Hi. So I apologize again if you hear my roommates in the background is bad timing. They're all getting off of work, but hi, I'm Maggie. It says Margaret on there, but I go by Maggie. I am in the process of, I'm actually taking my exam again this Thursday. I passed the Ohio, but I failed the nationals. So hopefully I'm going to pass that one this time. And I'm really just, I'm in between. I did join EXP, but I'm looking to switch. So that's what I am here for. I'm trying to kind of wage the differences between EXP and Keller Williams and just make a good decision before I hopefully pass that test this week. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So tell me, Maggie, what's one thing you want to get out of our time together tonight?
I just want to, I really just am like a culture-based person. So I just want to listen to just just honestly, just the culture of Keller Williams. And I just honestly, just how I would fit in and how the training would kind of set me up for success in my first, like my first days as a real estate agent and keep me motivated. So I'm excited about that.
Great. Great. We can cover, I think we'll cover that. I'm almost certain of it. And what part of town are you in as well?
I'm from Lakewood and I live in Lakewood again now. So
Yes.
West Side.
Good part of town. We, like I mentioned at the top of the call, we just moved our office from Rocky River to Lakewood. So we're in a new space that's like a shiny new penny. And then Chris, I'm gonna come to you later. I'm gonna come to you midstream. Chris is an agent in our office, and I asked him to be here tonight. It's always good to have somebody other than the CEO of the company talk about their experience because, of course, I've had a great one. So we're gonna go ahead and dive in this evening. Our framework for the conversation is pretty simple. We're going to talk about the real estate industry as a whole. Then I'm going to talk about Keller Williams as a global company. And then I'm going to talk about what is most important to everybody on this call, which is this local office of Keller Williams and how do we actually go about helping more agents find more success more quickly. And then I'm going to answer all the questions that we gin up as a part of that conversation. So when we think about the real estate industry, it's important to recognize, and some of you may be like, yeah, no duh, Mike, definitely had these three things in my radar. But there are three tranches of benefit for the real estate industry that I exist here for us as real estate professionals in spades, where some of them, but not all of them, exist in every industry. And those three are first freedom, and then flexibility, and then financial opportunity. So when I say freedom, what I'm really driving at there is you are, for those of you who are not currently, as a real estate professional, you're going to be a 1099 independent contractor. You are going to be your own boss. You are going to be able to do business the way you want, when you want, how you want, with who you want, to the extent that you want, as long as you want. And you're not going to have a boss lording over you, talking about hours and shifts and whether or not they need you to come in on Saturdays. You get to make that decision for your business. And you are, in many ways, as they describe in the entrepreneurial endeavors, your own boss. With that freedom comes a lot of flexibility. So how are these two things different? I think for our industry, especially with the advent of technology and how pervasive it's been with our industry, you're able to do business in a lot of different locations and in a lot of different times of day. So let's think about those of you who will be a dual career agent, right? Which just means that you're going to work a job until your real estate business gets big enough for you to do real estate full time. Or for some folks, they never do real estate full time because they find a good balance between the two. Well, that is allowable because of the flexibility of you can do real estate from 9 to 5, or you can do it from 5 to 9. You're not driving across town in the middle of the night to get signatures or initials on documents. We send those digitally now. And for the most part, you can choose how much and when you're doing the business that you want to do to achieve your goals. And then finally, the financial opportunity of real estate. I'm sure everyone knows somebody, has met somebody, has a brother-in-law or a friend on Facebook from high school that is just crushing it. It is true. The financial opportunity for real estate professionals is big, and it's meaningful, and it's real. The average home in Northeast Ohio sells for about $250,000 now, which is right around a $6,000 commission for the realtor involved representing either side of that transaction. So when you think about what you make and replacing that income with just average home sales, you divide it by 6,000, and that's how many homes you have to sell in a year. When you realize that the National Association of Realtors in their annual home buyers and sellers guide say the average realtor spends 50 hours to sell a house, right? And we have agents in our office who sell 30 to 40 homes a year as individual agents with no team members, no administrative support. Those folks are clearing exactly what you think that they are when you do the math and multiply that number of homes by 6,000. I think that for anybody engaging or pursuing a career in real estate, these are going to have varying degrees of importance. Depending on your station or status or position in life, you may be really interested in replacing your income, but with the maximum opportunities for flexibility. It's really important to you to be there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to get your kids off the bus. And every day you can block your calendar and never have an appointment from 2 to 4. It might just be that you are fed up with the rat race, and the idea that you get to set your own schedule and be your own boss is really exciting to you, and you're willing to go through the business building process. Or for some folks, it might be, hey, I want to make $1 million a year selling real estate, and we have half a dozen people in our office that in 2024 made over $1 million selling real estate in Northeast Ohio. Whatever is important to you with your career in real estate, whatever element of this is drawing you into a career in real estate, that's great. And we're going to support you getting that. If it's more money, if it's more time, if it's more flexibility, whatever it is, I promise you there's somebody in our agent body who is going after the same thing and will help you get there more quickly. So, industry at large, freedom, flexibility, financial opportunity. We're on this call so you can learn more about Keller Williams. It's really important that for us to have a conversation about what it is that Keller Williams does and why it's unique and impactful for agents that work for our company. I need to give you a framework for how real estate brokerages work at large. So there are, believe it or not, in our multiple listing service, which is where homes go to be listed, there are 900 different real estate offices in our MLS. And some of those are in Youngstown, and some of those are 400 agents like we are, and some of them are a guy and his brother, right? So there's a bunch of different things involved here. I'm going to tell you, you have to check out at least no less than 3, no more than 5 brokerages. Just for yourself, right? I'm going to tell you everything that's good, great, and wonderful about our company, and I mean it, and I believe it, and it's my job to do it. I think that Keller Williams can be the best fit for damn near anybody. And I want you to be as excited about it by comparing and contrasting against some of these other models. So I always say, go check out a few. You know somebody, Maggie's already checked out EXP, and she's doubling back to learn more about Keller Williams. That's great. I'm not scared of anybody doing the Pepsi challenge with what we offer here. So if you're going to do it, though, don't go interview with 900 different offices. You need to understand that there's really only 3 types of real estate offices, and that's in the entire country. I haven't spent that much time in the European theater, but I'm sure that the models apply well over there. There's the first one, which we call the dependent model or a traditional company. This is where there's a broker, they have an outlay of capital and resources, and they take on all of the risk, and then the financial gain is disproportionately focused back on them as the broker. This creates more of what I would call an employee-employer relationship. Now, you're still a 1099, you still run your own business, but there's somebody with their hand on the faucet or on the hose determining where leads get directed and whether or not they want them to go to you or the next person. And that is it's been the real estate model. It's been a real estate model. It's the original real estate model from the late 1800s. There are companies that operate on a dependent model successfully in our market today. Howard Hanna is an example of a dependent model. Coldwell Banker is an example of a dependent model. And about half of your small independent brokerages operate as dependent model companies. So dependent model companies were the only way that business was done until about the mid-1960s. As the population of the United States grew and brokerages became less important than agents were, we moved from a broker-centric model in the dependent model companies to an agent-centric model in the independent model companies. Now, these are what I like to call a la carte companies. Their model is very high volume, low margin. And so they are interested in a landlord-tenant style relationship with the agents, and they're going to give the agents a very favorable commission split. So 95% of the commission split might go to the agent, whereas in the dependent model, it's only 50%. So if an agent is moving from a dependent model to an independent model, they're going to see a 80 to 100% increase in their rate of commission. I call it the a la carte model because the services and support that are provided, whether it's financial, legal, management, coaching, training, education, support, all of those things not covered in the 0% cost of doing business there. The independent model companies are going to collect a transaction fee from your clients, and they're going to collect a hefty monthly fee, but they're going to take a very small percentage, if anything at all, from your commissions. So throughout history, traditional models were the only way that it was until the 1960s. RE/MAX is an independent model. EXP is an independent model. HomeSmart, Platinum Real Estate, both independent models here in our local markets. When those came to town, all the agents were on dependent models. They could go double their income by just doing business under a different shingle. And that's all well and good until what ultimately happened in the 1970s and early 80s, which always happens in real estate, is the market shifts. And suddenly everything that worked in the 1970s couldn't stick to the wall in the 1980s, which gave birth to the third model, which we call the interdependent model, which is what Keller Williams represents. So for those of you on the call who have read Stephen Covey's Highly Effective Habits of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, my gosh, you can see it's been a while since I've read it myself. This is the relationship model that he uses, and it's the evolution of the real estate industry. We went from dependent to independent, and then independent to interdependent. So an interdependent company is one where agents and the owners or the company itself have a mutual interest in success. You will hear me say, whether it's on this call or when you join the company, if we help every agent achieve their goals, I don't need to set goals for the company. We will blow them out of the water, right? Zig Ziglar or Mark Twain, one of the two of them, said it best. If you help enough people get what they want, you can have whatever you want. And so that's the way that we approach this. There is no winning as a company if our agents aren't winning. So we have to align ourselves as agents and brokers and staff and leaders with achieving the financial goals, each other's financial goals. And so in this model, agents don't assume the financial, legal, or management responsibilities. They are here to create and grow businesses, and it is our job to support them. And you'll see I want you to really lock in on this idea of interdependence, because you're going to see it show up in every aspect of our company. We only win, we're only successful, the most successful Keller Williams office in the United States, because we have great agents. And so that flywheel spins and spins and spins. We founded the first Keller Williams office in Northeast Ohio 23 years ago this November. And it started with 9 agents, and now there are over 2,200 Keller Williams agents in Northeast Ohio. And this office has achieved the pinnacle of success because we followed the interdependent model. And so we'll come back to that several times. So again, that's 150 years of real estate industry history that nobody signed up for, and everyone usually falls asleep during. So I'm going to go ahead and ask for questions if anything needs to be clarified, or if you want to go deeper down the rabbit hole of what real estate trade looked like in the 19th century. Didn't think anyone was going to bite on that one. All right, so let's talk about Keller Williams. You heard me drop a few breadcrumbs there. Keller Williams is the largest real estate company that the world has ever known. We have about 190,000 real estate agents operating in 59 different countries around the world. We have about 800 offices in the United States, 50 or so in North America, and another 100 sprinkled mostly throughout Europe, Central America, Africa, and the Middle East. We, at our locally here, Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan, we have 2 locations. We have one in Pepper Pike and one in Lakewood. So whether you're an East Sider or a West Sider, or a West Sider that wants to work on the East Side or vice versa, you've got a place, you've got a hub that we call them market centers that you can plug into, pull up a chair, pull up a cubicle, prep for your next appointment, have appointments. We love it when, lots of agents will host their clients in the office. It's a very professional setting, and one appropriate when you're discussing things like someone's home, which is the single largest asset that 99% of the population is ever going to own. We close about $1 billion a year in real estate. Just this year, we were closer to 1.1 billion, with about 3,500 real estate transactions taking place. Our individual office is nearly 8% of all real estate transactions in Northeast Ohio. And we are a profit sharing company. We'll talk more about that later. But we share back roughly $1 million a year to the agents of our company that have helped us grow it. And we do that all with the singular goal of growing our agents' businesses. Again, we choose to believe that whether you want to sell 2 houses or 200, if we can help you achieve it, it's going to help us be the company, the real estate company of choice, and one that no one would ever want to or have to leave. And again, quickly going back to this model, the evolution of what is the focus for real estate, it went from being a broker-centric model to an agent-centric model. And what we focus on at Keller Williams is a customer-centric model. We are focused on helping you help your customers and clients. When those dominoes get lined up appropriately, we crush. All right. Before I deep dive into anything and everything related to Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan, I'm going to pause for any questions. You can put them in the chat or just unmute. We're all friends here. All right. Hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and dive in to what Maggie indicated was her favorite subject, which is culture. So this will require some audience participation. When you see the word culture up there, you hear Maggie referencing how important culture is to her in this decision of where she will choose to do business. What exactly does that mean to you guys? Like, what is culture?
Culture to me is just the environment that you're surrounded by every single day, and like what the morals and like the morals and the principles of that environment is.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you for sharing that. And it's is it Brianna or Brianna?
It's Brianna, but you can just call me Bree.
Bree, thank you. Taking it easy on me. All right. Anybody else have that was a fantastic answer. I love that. Jill, I saw you unmuted.
Values,
Yeah.
values and teamwork, the social aspects of the company, and it's you have to mention ethics.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
ethics, it's social values and values.
I love that. Thank you for that.
Sure. Thank you.
Another great answer, and both of them right. I'll give you my working definition of what culture is, and I always say working definition because I reserve the right to change my mind anytime I want on that particular topic. But here's what I call culture as a company. To me, it boils down simply to who you are and what you do. And Bree and Jill, you nailed it. The what we do piece is the mission, the vision, the values, the beliefs, the perspective, the purpose, the ethics, the behaviors of our company. And what you see here is our belief system. We call it our Y4C2Ts because you will find everything in a company with strong culture has to be anachronized to create different language. And so that just is the first letter of all the 10 beliefs that we have as a company. I think it's important to call out. And I know it's hard for this to really land in the ways that it will when you're sitting in the room during a sales meeting or a training with 50 other agents that are from all different walks of life that do business different ways. But this is really what binds us together as a company, and it serves as our filter for who comes, who goes, and who stays. And these are not just words on a wall or words on a slide that we're going to throw up every time we have guests around or that I'm doing a presentation about the company. These come up in every single sales meeting. We start with a conversation around our values and our beliefs as a company. We recognize and catch each other winning. So we'll do just popcorn around the room and talking about who's seen someone live the values or adhere to the belief system in the last week or month. We do it during our training sessions. Every single staff meeting that I lead with the employees of this company starts with a review of the mission and the vision for our company so that we are all aligned on helping our agents achieve their goals. And it's really powerful and it's meaningful and it's the root of our success. So I know we've got a good group on the line tonight because you all nailed exactly what it is. Now, the second part, and it's if I had to pick a favorite, I'm going to pick the second part, which is the who we are. We've got over 400 agents that work in this office, and they are talented and they are special and they're unique and they are self-organized, which is really exciting. I was fortunate enough to go to a very big university when I was doing my undergraduate studies. I went to The Ohio State University, which had about 60,000 students at it. And I came from a small town where we had less than there were more people in my dorm freshman year than in the entirety of my high school. And so it was big. And what I found was the same thing I find about big companies like the one that I run today. Big companies can feel small. Small companies can never feel big. And so we have these agent-led communities or affinity groups. About 65% of our agents are women. About 1 in 3 is an agent of color. 1 in 4 is an investor or a flipper. So does something with building wealth in real estate. And so these are, the real estate industry is not just about selling more houses. And we quickly found that as we grew the company over time, and then these subgroups started to develop. What is most special to me when I look at this list and the others that I know that are starting to form as we speak is that I didn't sit in a boardroom with the leadership team and decide that we should have a Black Realtor Network or Women of KWGM. It was the agents of the company and the challenges and opportunities and the way that they want to build community for those groups. Awesome, right? They do fundraisers and charity drives and community work as groups, so that this large and expansive company that we've built can also feel small and intimate and special. And so when we think about culture, when I think about culture, the who we are and the what we do, those two things put together is what's led to all of our success as an organization. We've started a community for individuals in your position, which is our future realtors of Northeast Ohio. It's just a little Facebook group where we'll post reminders about study sessions, or people can post and find study buddies, or you just throw up a question of one that's troubling you and somebody else can come along and help you solve for it. So everybody will get this in your email tomorrow as a follow-up to tonight's session. Hell, you might even get it tonight if we get out of here early. But just so you know, no obligation to be a part of Keller Williams. You can join that group and just take advantage of the resources that are there. So with culture firmly in place, the next thing that should be most important to everybody on this call is training. Because if you've done the real estate courses, you may have found it a little bit odd that you spent 40 hours working through the contract section and you never actually saw a contract. But from day one of being licensed, you're going to have the power and authority to go write contracts on behalf of your clients to purchase homes that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So training is really important. And at Keller Williams, we joke that we are a coaching and training company that is just thinly veiled as a real estate organization. So whether it's locally, regionally, nationally, or internationally, there's training happening at all times. What's special about what we focus on here at Keller Williams is, yes, all of the tactical things that you need to know to do the perfect real estate transaction, to write the best contract, to use the best scripts and dialogues and negotiate on behalf of your client. What's on the other side of that is, once you master the real estate transaction, you quickly realize that you're running a business where you're the business owner and also the employee, and that employee's job is to do real estate transactions. But you as a business owner have to manage a P&L, think about return on investment, think about your tax liability and tax exposure, and all of those things that come with running a really successful business. We teach to both of those hats that you have to wear. And I would argue that we are one of few that focuses on business and business development and business ownership. And of the few that do, we are among the best. Or we are the best, I should just say. I'm just going to say it, guys. We're the best. But this is an example of a training calendar for our office. As you can see, there is a different training happening nearly every day. There are things focused on contracts, on compliance, on leveraging affiliate partners. There are masterminds for agents of different production levels. We're deep diving what makes one agent more successful with an open house than the average agent. And then you see a bunch of great things for our affinity groups and our communities popping up. The thing that makes this training calendar irreplicable is the simple fact that there is, of everything that is on there, let's see, for the month of December, there wasn't a single thing that was taught by somebody who isn't an active agent in our market. So we don't have a director of education or a head of training that is, reading from the book on the best strategies for taking a listing. What we do is we find the guy or gal in the office who's taking the most listings. We put them at the front of the room. We interview them. We understand their systems that they're using, and then we have them teach a class on it. The reason that you can't do that in any old company is because we start with culture. We start with getting the mission, the vision, the values, the beliefs, the perspective, and the purpose right. Then when you get that right, you get the people right. And when you have the people right, it's really easy to go to top performers and ask them to train their competition. And they'll gladly do it because they know, as we operate with a mindset of abundance as a company, just because Jill joins the company and has a ton of success doesn't mean Maggie can't have success, or doesn't mean that Chris is going to sell 3 less homes next year. All of those things are in our control and our purview as individuals. And that's what we focus on as a company, which is why we can bring the best training to bear. You're learning surgery from a surgeon. All right, culture and training firmly in place. Let's talk about support. First of all, when it comes to real estate, you probably heard or feel like you're going to have to do everything under the sun as it relates to marketing. Don't worry, you actually don't. We have a marketing person on staff. We'll get you set up with, don't go do a business card consultation with someone. Don't hire somebody to do your website. We set all of that up for every person that joins our company. And then custom projects beyond that are available at a la carte arrangement with our director of marketing. And then same thing, some people are terrified by paperwork because it's like, oh, I got all these documents, and if I don't tick the box right, they're going to sue me. We have an in-house transaction coordinator that does compliance work. She does contract to close work. She does listing work, all for a fee, all for a reduced fee for anybody in our office. And for those of you who are like, hey, I'm making a lot of money, but I don't know where it's going, she also does bookkeeping. So those things are available to agents in our office. You don't have to go hunt and peck and find them anywhere else. For those of you, for all the folks who are getting ready for the exam, once you pass that exam, like I said, you're going to have the power and authority to go write contracts. Our new agent launch program, ran by our director of onboarding and launch, Kelly Mann, is 12 online modules that are self-paced that teach you, I like to say, everything you need to know to be dangerous. You're going to be in a position where you feel comfortable holding an open house. When somebody calls you and asks to go see 123 Main Street, you're not going to be terrified by the idea of logging onto the MLS and scheduling a showing. And if, God forbid, they want to buy it. It's funny, I was talking to a gal in the office today. She's been licensed for 22 days and she hasn't completed launch yet. But she was like, yeah, I'm just getting really nervous. Like if somebody wants to buy a house, and I'm like, nervous? Somebody wants to buy a house? Like that's what we're here for. And, but it's, natural. If you've never done it before, you'd be nervous to do it. So this is a tool that allows you to build confidence such that when an opportunity shows up, you can take advantage of it. It's been very powerful and very impactful in helping our agents start their real estate career running. And then there's the productivity coaching opportunity. So this is unique to Keller Williams. We don't have a mentor-mentee system where you're going to get assigned to somebody on day one. You complete the launch program and then you graduate into a coaching relationship. If you're on the west side, it's going to be with Wesley. If you're on the east side, it's going to be with Eric. And the idea of this is, once you know how to do a real estate transaction, what you really need is help with accountability, troubleshooting, and a community of peers, people that are all under 1 year, just like you. And that's what you get from this coaching program. So every agent that joins Keller Williams gets enrolled in 1 year of productivity coaching with either one of these fellas at no cost to the agent. So we are investing right up front in helping you get everything that you need to be successfand these guys are paid a commission based on your performance, but they get paid from the company based on your performance. So, and that is rare, not only in Northeast Ohio, it's rare throughout the country. People ask, like, why do you do it? And I say very simply, if our agents can have a good first year in real estate, they can have a good second year in real estate, then they'll have a great third year in real estate. Like I am, to the extent that if you want to do 2 or 3 transactions a year, great. That's your goal. We're going to help you do it. I don't want that to be where you have to stop. And I'm willing to pour in and invest in agents in this company all the live long day because I'm interested in long-term relationships with long-term people. And if we pour into you and get you the foundation for a business through something like productivity coaching in your first year, we're gonna help you build a really great business in years 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so I'll at this time here you see for people in their first year, we're talking millions of dollars in sales, multiple dozens of closings, and people who are achieving year 2, 3, and 4 success at some other companies here in their first year. So before we jump in and talk about teams, I want to introduce you to Chris Burns, who's been kind enough to hop on the call and was a new agent in our office and and participate in productivity coaching. And so I'm going to just shut up for a second and let Chris talk about his experience for the first couple of years here at Keller Williams and hopefully validate everything that I've told you.
Everything Mike said so far has been a complete lie. No, just kidding. Thanks for the opportunity to be on here, Mike. Happy to share my story. So I started as a dual career agent a few years ago, and I had a full-time job and got licensed towards the end of COVID, and really just did it because I wanted to have some extra cash coming in, take an extra vacation, put a little extra money in the bank, pay off some debt. That was kind of my game plan going in. And then realized pretty quickly that, because of the culture of Keller Williams and the successful people that I was around and that robust, almost like annoyingly robust training calendar, like there's so much stuff on our training calendar, it like sometimes puts me cross-eyed in a good way, that I knew I was surrounded by people who were going to help me make this more than just a side hustle, which is how it started. I was even silly enough to go on a few-month walkabout at one of our competitors for a dependent brokerage up the road. And I mean, how long was I gone? Like 3 months, 4 months max before I realized the error of my ways and came crawling back to Keller Williams. And there really isn't just anything like it in my experience out there that supports and cares for and really nurtures the development of the agents, particularly newer agents, the way our brokerage does at Keller Williams. I took full advantage of the productivity coaching my first 12 months with the organization, and that really catapulted me from being a quote unquote side hustle agent to a top 20% producer pretty quickly. I've always been kind of a person that felt I could, do it all on my own. And then when I humbled myself, put myself in coaching and started taking some great ideas from some of the awesome agents around me, I was able to go farther faster because I really dove into the culture. And, I can't shout it from the rooftops enough how great of an experience I've had at Keller Williams. And I don't want to take up too much time, but I'm always happy to have a conversation with any of you to talk more about my story and why I think this Keller Williams brokerage is, like Mike said, probably a great fit for just about anyone out there, regardless of what they're hoping to achieve in the real estate industry. So my office is in our office in Lakewood. Burnsy on the door. So if anybody wants to stop in, I'm typically there quite a bit. So always happy to have a conversation with anybody about anything. So thanks, Mike. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Does anybody have any questions for Chris or anything that you want him to clarify or talk a little bit more about while we have him? Okay. You nailed it, man. So in addition to the onboarding and the coaching and the training, we also we support real estate teams, which is, if you think back to the framework that I gave you at the start of the call, a real estate team operates like a dependent model brokerage inside of our greater company. So this is where an agent has so much business and so many leads that they can't tend to all their clients. So first they hire administrative and operational support, and then they endeavor to hire real estate agents to then work on their behalf. As a result of that, we've grown some pretty impressive teams, some of the top teams in the country. with one team over 150 million in sales this year, another team just under 90 million in sales, and then several teams between 30 and 60 million dollars in real estate sales. So they're doing some things at a pretty high level, and it is really, really fun to watch and support. And if you're thinking to yourself, hey, is a team right for me? Like, do I if I don't know what I don't know about the industry or about the opportunity, maybe that's where I'll start. Here's what I'll tell you. I looked at the data. My background was as a financial analyst, a keyboard jockey, as they are affectionately referred to. And so I said, hey, what is the performance of individual agents or solo agents look like versus team agents in their first year? Now, nobody on this call wants to set a goal of being average, and neither did I. So I looked at, hey, what's the top 10% of each category do? Guys, whether you're a team agent or an individual agent in your first year, if you're in the top 10%, you're making about 50 grand in gross commission incomes. Doesn't matter if you're on a team or not. You're going to sell more units on a team, make a little bit less per deal. You're going to sell fewer units as an individual agent, make more per deal. In your second year, they make the same amount of money again. And the same is true in the third year. Top performers are top performers, whether they're on a team or not. The most important thing for you to realize, or the first important thing for you to understand as you endeavor to solve the question, is a team right for me? You need to understand yourself. If you're getting into this job for a lot of freedom and flexibility, teams are going to come with expectations of when you're in the office and how much you dial and who you dial and what leads you work and which ones you have to generate and what you do on this deal or that deal. If you're getting into this industry because you swore up and down you never wanted to have a boss again, you probably shouldn't join a team. If you're like me, where you're youngest of three boys, you played all team sports, you were in a fraternity in college, like you spent your whole life as a part of a team. I joined a team when I joined the company because I knew that that's where I was going to get the most energy and be the most successful. So, you can square the circle however you want on commissions and splits and all those other things. If you're not in a place where you can really aggressively grow or hit your goals, whether that's inside this company or inside a team inside this company, then, I don't know. You're going to find a hard time finding success, period. So I get real clear on that in advance. And then one of the really wonderful things about our company in the form of support is our Agent Leadership Council. So this is unique to Keller Williams, period, the end. There isn't another company in the world where the chairman and CEO has a group of agents that serve as a counterbalance to the decisions that I make. When I make decisions for this company, I use this group as a sounding board and for ground truth. And most of the decisions, with few exceptions, they actually have to approve. Anything that's going to dramatically impact the way an agent does business or their cost of doing business, this group reviews and approves. So we want to, if I can't just raise the monthly fees $3 on every agent because I want to, I need to put another tank of gas in my car, right? Like those decisions get reviewed by, evaluated, and ultimately voted on by this group as a voice of the agent body. They also inform what we do and how we do it when it comes to the training calendar, our communities, our different offerings from a continuing education standpoint, and how we make decisions on policy. Any changes to our policy and guidelines as a company are approved by this group, and it refreshes every year. So we roll over and we invite more people to be a part of this and different people to be a part of it, all of them top producing agents in our company. And then finally, our leadership team. We have a robust and diverse and strong leadership team that is very tenured with our company and within the industry. And so when it comes to solving problems for our agents, technical, business-wise, deal-wise, we have the resources to do it. Speaking of technical and technology, some of you are thinking about your career in real estate and you're like, oh my gosh, I need a website, I need business cards, I need all these other things. I need to go, get a MailChimp account and get a Canva account. Listen, that is how real estate was 5 years ago. Keller Williams made the investment as a company into a piece of proprietary technology that provides everything you need to build a thriving business with a cost of admission for the company, right? So you're going to have a CRM, you're going to have a database, you're going to have a personalized website, you're going to have a sales pipeline that you can manage, you're going to have design tools that are going to allow you to make your flyers or your social media posts, and anything and everything you could think of related to technology in your business is going to be provided for you in an end-to-end software-based solution, so that you don't have to go hunt and peck for different resources and then make sure that they talk to each other. When you get into this business, you can burn a lot of time, energy, resources, and capital on trying to figure all that stuff out. So we've just built the solution as a company. So overall, if we get the culture right, everything else takes care of itself. We can provide world-class training because we've got the best people teaching each other how to do the business at the highest level. That then makes it pretty easy for guys like me and our leadership team and our coaches and our ALC to support the growth and development of people's businesses. Then you layer on a piece of proprietary technology that'll streamline and take the friction out of doing more and more and more deals. We've got a company that'll allow more people to be more successful more quickly, which is the goal. All right. Any questions about any of this before I talk about commissions and fees?
Just a quick question in general about teams. How do the people leading the teams, are those people brokers?
They some of them are, but it is not a requirement that they be a broker.
Gotcha. Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah, great question. All right. Commission splits. Keller Williams operates on an agent favorable commission split, which means in any given transaction, the agent will make the majority of the commission. This is an example of a $500 or $400,000 house that generates about a $10,000 commission. And so we are in a 64-36 split. 30% goes to the local office here, Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan, and 6% goes as a franchise fee to the office in Austin, Texas, Keller Williams Realty International. This is going to be a better than average split for any company going in Northeast Ohio, and it gets better because you'll see this says uncapped. We actually operate with a capping commission structure, which means at a certain point, whenever you've paid in $18,000 locally and $21,000 to the international office, you are capped, which means you'll never pay more than that in a given year to our company. So everything that you sell after you hit that cap until your anniversary date with the company, you earn 100% on. It takes about 12 to 14 transactions, which we'll call about $2.6 million in real estate sales for you to hit your cap. For a person in their first year, we probably have probably 1 in 20 hit their cap in their first year. And then that number climbs dramatically to in the second and third years. So much so that if you include team agents and we probably have almost 50% of our company hits the cap every year. And that's taking into account that there's a lot of folks in the company that are just going to sell 2 to 3 homes and spoil their grandkids at Christmas. Anybody who wants to achieve 100% commission has the opportunity to do that here with us, but it operates a lot like an insurance premium. So you hit it in the first 2 months of being a part of the company, or into your reset year. Cool, you're 100% for 10 months. So we don't. One of the things when we think about like interdependence and the idea of transparency as a cornerstone for our company, every agent in our company has the same commission split. We don't negotiate. I don't negotiate commission splits. If you want to make more money as a part of the most successful real estate office in Northeast Ohio and the most successful Keller Williams office in North America, all you have to do is sell more houses. And I would love to help you sell more houses. But if we're going to spend our time hemming and hawing over 5 points or 10 points on 12 transactions. Let's get you to 20 transactions and it'll all go out in the wash. We're here to help people help their clients. And if you want to make more money, you help more people, the flywheel spins, everybody benefits. Any questions about the commission structure? All right, dues and fees. So it's important for everybody on this call to recognize that no matter where you work, if you get off the call here and you're like, man, that guy Mike, he's funny, he's got good jokes, but I'm just going to go work somewhere else. That's well and good. It's really important you understand that there are costs associated with having a real estate license, regardless of where you work. So I'm going to start by letting you know, hey, you're going to have to pay for the MLS. That's the multiple listing service. That is where homes go to be listed. That's going to cost you $456 a year, no matter where you work. Then you're going to belong to the MLS, you're going to have to belong to the Board of Realtors. Now, that is going to be an annualized board dues of about $800 in your first year, and then it drops a little after 2 years. And then you're going to have your license renewed on your first birthday and every 3 years thereafter. That's $182. So you're looking at right around $1,100 to $1,200 a year on average to have a real estate license anywhere in Northeast Ohio. Then there are some things that are covered here that you'll want to pay attention to. Does my company offer .loop or DocuSign? Is errors and omissions insurance included? And is showing time access provided? These are all things required to do business in the modern era or required to do business from the state in the vein of the E&O insurance. So no matter where you work, and when you go interview with other brokerages and you're talking to your dependent and independent models, I just encourage you to evaluate whether or not they bring this stuff up, because listen, I'm not making any money off of this, but it keeps you from doing business if you don't have the expectation that these are things that you're going to have to pay for when they come due. And you see the MLS and board dues are both prorated. Those are prorated to the day you get licensed, and they're due within 30 days of that license being issued. At Keller Williams Greater Metropolitans, we have no annual fees, no per deal fees charged to the agent. We have no quarterly tech assessments or mid-year marketing re-ups. You pay, everybody pays, everybody with a license, including me, the CEO of the company, pays $87 a month. These are all pass-through costs. That means we don't make any money. This isn't a desk fee. This isn't $100 a month that goes into Uncle Mike's pocket just so you can have your license here. $87 a month covers errors and omissions insurance, which is required for all agents to practice real estate. We provide it for you. You're insured up to $1 million per claim with a $5,000 deductible for any claims against you that fall under the errors and omissions category. 17 of your $87 goes towards insurance. 25 of your $87 each month passes through to local technology. We provide showing time, .loop, and DocuSign to all agents in the company. If you were to go get those 3 pieces of technology, which 2 of which are digital signature platforms, the other one's a bolt-on to the MLS that allows you to schedule showings easier. If you were to go get those 3 on your own, it would cost you $93 a month just for those 3 pieces of technology. And then finally, that end-to-end proprietary piece of real estate technology that I talked about, KW Command, which is your database, your CRM, your consumer app, your pipeline management, all of those things, that's included in that $87 a month as well. In addition to that, you have all the training, the education, access to the offices, et cetera, so on and so forth. Any questions about dues or fees? All right. So next steps. All of you have registered for classes and have completed classes. So your next step is to figure out, hey, do I want to work with Mike and his team? Do I want to work at Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan? And if so, raise your hand and let us know, and we'll have the necessary conversations about doing that. It's pretty simple. We helped 100 different, over 100 individuals apply for their real estate license last year. We have a team member who manages that process She is the one who cuts every check, sends every piece of paperwork down, collects every certificate, every transcript, you name it. And so when you decide, hey, I'm interested in being in business with Mike, I want to have that Chris Burns experience, then you let me know. I'll follow up with an email this evening and we'll talk about how we can do that. And then you're going to hear from Gina, and Gina's going to give you the application. She's going to tell you where to send your certificates, how to pay your application fee, and we send it down, tell you when to get fingerprinted, and all of those things along the way. Then you're going to join us at our weekly study sessions every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. If we are going to have a long-term relationship focused on long-term results, we're going to start pouring into you early. We want to help you pass that nasty exam. So start showing up to these study sessions. And I'll tell you what, even if you decide, you know what, Mike, I don't like your haircut, I'm not coming to your company, then that's fine. You can still come to our study sessions. We're willing to help you no matter what. Then you're going to pass your test. We're going to celebrate. You're going to then meet Kelly. Kelly's going to do your intake and your onboarding and get you teed up for launch. And you're going to be off to the races and our next breakout agent. So I will send the details for this study session in my follow-up email.
Can I ask you an honest question?
You can ask me whatever you want. It would be weird for you to ask me a dishonest question.
Is it frowned upon by another team? Like if I, like, since I just joined with the social team, would it be frowned upon if I like went there for the 4:30 p.m. study sessions?
No, the social team is a part of our company.
Okay.
Yeah, the social team is a team inside of Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan. Like they're
Okay.
gonna be stoked that you're at the study sessions. Or if they're hosting study sessions, go to there. Look, we just want to help people find success in real estate. And, you know, Shoshana and Kobe and Sharon and Noah, I mean, they're a part of our training calendar consistently. Like being on a team does not separate you from any of the opportunities or resources available in this company.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. Like it's still learning how all of this works. So
Yeah. It can be a little clunky and feel a little weird whenever if you haven't been exposed to it, but you're a quick study. You'll get it figured out, but just don't ever feel like you're not welcome at something because you're on a team. The opposite is the case. You are welcome to everything.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. What other questions do you guys have for me? What did I not cover? What did I not get into? Jill, I know commercial real estate, but we'll touch on that tomorrow.
It's pretty thorough. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah. Oh,
Thanks,
happy to do it. It's a fun thing to talk about. It's energizing, really. I get reminded myself about all the cool stuff that we do.
Very cool.
Yeah. Maggie, anything from you?
No, I took a ton of notes and I have a lot to think about, and I'm really excited to talk to you a little bit more later. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we'll set up a time to have a chat and get any follow-up questions that you might have squared
Definitely.
away. We'll go from there.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. That was great.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. So I'm going to punch out just quick follow-up emails to all of you with some information on the Facebook group, the study session, and then the appropriate next steps for everyone. So if anybody has any questions they didn't feel comfortable asking the group, by all means, feel free to just reply to the email. My cell is at the bottom of my email as well. So if you want to text or call, you're welcome to do that.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. We'll see you guys. Thanks so much.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Chris. Bye-bye.